Two of my students recently almost walked away from girls they eventually slept with. Both girls said they're not looking for anything casual, and the guys thought it's not worth going on another date. One of them got laid because I told him to forget everything he has learned from his previous dates and still go on another date, and the other guy simply got lucky because the girl pretty much invited herself over for the fourth date at the guy's place. And both situations teach the same lesson. Just because a girl isn't ready to sleep with you on the first or second date doesn't mean there's no point in going on another date. In this episode, you will learn when it makes sense to go on another date and when should you cut your losses. And if you do go on another date, what exactly should you do on that date? Ollie went out in London even though he had barely done any day game that week. His second approach was with a beautiful Czech tourist, and they ended up going on an instant date then and there. On my dates, I have three stages. First is connection, get to know her, build some comfort, and start light verbal escalation. Second stage is seduction, where you go into deeper topics, you move into more seductive vibe, and you start escalating physically. And the third stage is logistics, where you start talking about things you could do at your place. That way, when you invite her to your place after the date, it's like a continuation to a date instead of just saying, hey, let's go to my place and have sex. We start the dates in the first venue, which is usually a regular bar, but then once the vibe is there, once you feel you can start moving towards physical escalation, we move from a location that's good for conversation to a location that's good for physical contact. Ideally, a cocktail bar or a lounge where you can sit on a sofa next to each other. And 2 days after the Insta date, Ollie and the Czech girl go on a proper date. They start in a regular bar, get to know each other, and start with some light verbal escalation. They chat about the standard venue one topics. Ollie starts checking how she's reacting to some accidental touching and is moving into more adventurous topics. So far the girl is receptive, so it's time for some more seductive vibe, deeper, spicier topics, more touch, and seating ideas to go back to Ollie's place. So they go to a second venue where they can sit on sofas next to each other, which makes physical touch easier. And Ollie's doing a great job talking about things they could do at his place, but also about things they could do another time in case he realizes he can't pull her home on that date and will need to go on more dates later. Turns out the girl is healing after a rough breakup, and you might think it's a good thing, but oftentimes it's not. She might not be in a mood for a new guy, maybe she isn't interested in a new relationship, and maybe not even sex, but still she agrees to go back to Ollie's place. When you bring a girl home, you shouldn't instantly try to sleep with her. Give her some time and space, see how she feels. Ollie tried kissing her around 30 minutes after they get to his place, but she rejected the kiss attempt. Okay, he waited, he paused, he chilled a little bit, and after a while she's totally fine with him touching her, but again the second kiss attempt gets rejected. This is where a lot of beginners make the wrong conclusions. She rejected the kiss, so she's definitely not interested in me. That's not necessarily what happened. The only thing we know is that at that particular moment in time, she's not ready for that escalation move. The girl started explaining she doesn't usually do things like that on a first date and isn't looking for anything casual, and this is where Ollie made a serious mistake. He started having a logical conversation explaining her why they could have some fun even without a relationship. Don't do that. If she's telling you she's not looking for anything casual, don't try to convince her otherwise. Just accept it, keep having a playful vibe, and look at her actions. Let her actions dictate what she's comfortable with. Just because a girl says she isn't looking for a relationship, it doesn't mean she's not attracted to you, and it doesn't mean she might not want sex later when a bit more connection develops. But after two failed kiss attempts and a much too logical conversation, they chill for a bit more and the date ends with nothing more than a kiss on a cheek. Ollie's mistake wasn't not managing to sleep with her, it was deciding for the girl what her actions meant. She might not be ready for a kiss or sex at that moment, but she might change her mind 30 minutes later or on another date. There are three reasons beginner daygamers make such mistakes. First, your first daygame lays might distort your expectations. Your first few daygame lays are often not that hard. They oftentimes are with girls girls who are open to casual sex, so you get a few quick wins and your brain starts thinking that this is what daygame looks like. Second, daygame exposes you to women with very different intentions. On dating apps, people are generally there because they are actively looking for someone to date. On the street, you're meeting women who aren't necessarily thinking about dating at all. Some are getting over a breakup and aren't looking for anything, while others might be so deep in their career they're not thinking about dating at all. But you might meet someone who's never had casual sex, who's not looking for anything short term, but it doesn't mean that they wouldn't be open to the idea if they meet the right guy. And third, you're confusing not now with never. When a girl stops your escalation, it might mean no, or it might mean not yet. It doesn't necessarily mean never. You might need 30 more minutes or 2 more dates. One thing you have to understand: if a girl stops the same escalation move 2 or 3 times, read between the lines, respect her boundaries, and stop trying. Spend the rest of the time building comfort and then see if she sees you for another date where things might become easier. I explained Ollie about the biggest escalation mistake he made on his date. Regardless of why you go to your place, the best thing to do is to watch a movie together. Putting on a movie simply creates a relaxed environment where you can spend time together and escalate slowly. You try something, you see how she reacts, you pause, and then continue escalating. Even though Ollie didn't feel like there was any point seeing the girl again, I said he definitely has to do another date, but I suggested he meets the girl outside before inviting her back to his place. If you invite a girl straight to your place for the second date, she might think that sex is expected and feel pressured. So if she is hesitant about sex, meet her outside, do a regular but shorter date, build up the connection again, and then find a reason to go back to your apartment. They went for some gelato and beer, and this time Ollie had learned from his mistakes. He seated watching a movie, to which she happily obliged. This time he was much more careful with escalation, paying attention to what she's comfortable with, escalating with pauses instead of being all over her, and by the end of the movie they were making out pretty heavily. And you know, as they say, the rest is history. The next day Ollie was complaining about crazy hickeys he had that other girls would see when he goes out on day games. Noticed what changed. It's not like he stopped escalating, no, he simply slowed it down a little bit, paid more attention to her reactions, he escalated, paused, escalated, paused, etc. After the conversation they had on the first date, Ollie thought there was no point seeing her again, but that's the same mistake many beginners make. He almost threw away his 4th day game late just because he thought this girl's too traditional. Ollie's story tells us why you shouldn't give up after one failed escalation attempt, but there is a problem with that. You can't just keep going on dates with the girl hoping that she will eventually sleep with you. When do you actually cut your losses? And this is where DC's story becomes interesting. DC had a hot Indian girl half naked on his bed, but he didn't get laid because she stopped the escalation and said she isn't looking for anything casual. So he decided there's no point texting her. They wanted fundamentally different things. DC wasn't looking for a serious monogamous relationship. The girl seemed a bit more traditional. The difference between this situation and what happened to Ollie is that this happened on a 3rd day, and yeah, at that point it kind of makes sense to consider moving on. If she keeps seeing you but isn't sleeping with you, don't keep taking a girl on a bunch of dates just hoping that one day she will sleep with me. Give it a few dates to see whether the connection is progressing. Are you getting closer to sex? If no, cut your losses. My rule of thumb is around 3 dates, but you want to see clear progression. Is she more open on each date? Is she fine with physical escalation? Is she coming back to my place? Is she investing more over time? And if things are kind of progressing too slow, I will cut my losses. But there is one thing that made DC's situation different and made it worth it to go on the 4th date. If after a heavy makeout on a 3rd date, she's willing to come to your place for a 4th date, that's a very strong indicator that you should do that date. So a few days later, DC and the girl had a 4th date. She pretty much invited herself over, cooked for him and had completely changed her mind about having sex with him. So let's look at 3 takeaways from this episode, or 3 rules. In both Ollie's and DC's cases, the girls explicitly said they are not looking for anything casual. Both guys stopped escalation, stopped trying, were willing to give up, but both of them got laid. So first rule, just because a girl says she isn't looking for anything casual doesn't mean she's actually not open to it. No sex on a first or second date doesn't necessarily mean no sex later. A no is a no, you have to respect that, but it doesn't tell you what she will want a week later. And the third rule, cut your losses if the progress is too slow. My rule of thumb is around 3 dates. And if you want to learn what to do on your dates step by step to build connection with women so more of those dates end in your bedroom, then check out my free dating guide, which is available on daygamecourses.com. There is a link in description. But if you want me to help you learn Daygame just like I did with Ollie and DC, then that's what my online coaching program is for. Each month we will listen to your recorded sets during one-on-one coaching calls where we will find the biggest mistakes you're making, and I will tell you exactly how to fix them step by step until the next coaching call. And you will stay accountable to me via weekly check-ins. You can also send me any texting questions you have and get help on your dates, just like the guys you heard about did. You'll be in our group chat with other guys learning Daygame around the world, all over Europe, USA, Canada, Australia, etc. And before you even commit to the program, we will start with a discounted coaching call where we will get to know each other and already work with some of your recorded sets. You'll get to test drive my coaching style, and I will get to know you to understand whether you're actually a good fit for the program. You'll find all the info by clicking the link in description, so hopefully talk to you soon. And guys, this is it for this episode. See you in the next video. Ciao guys.